A common parenting dilemma is figuring out how many gifts are appropriate to give a child at Christmas. Is 10 too many? Is 3 enough? In order to talk about this subject and to keep it to the point, I'm going to ask you a question to think about first. What do you want the outcome of your gift giving to be? In other words, when your child receives a gift from you or from anyone else at Christmas or any other time, what do you want their response to be in their actions, words, and even in their own hearts? Is it that you want your child to have lots of things to open and feel good about that? Or could your answer be that they show joy? Maybe that they have a grateful attitude, that they care about what they have received and use it and appreciate it, that they think about the giver. In other words, they think about others and not just themselves. Those would be the thoughts that are likely running through your mind if you sit and think about this question. So if those are your goals in giving gifts to your children, how can these be accomplished, and how many gifts would it take for these goals to be met? I want to tell you about an experience that I had that you've likely had yourself. I had a birthday party for my first child years ago. His friends and cousins came and all brought him gifts. My husband and I also gave him a few gifts, of course. We did the whole games, cake, presents thing. When it came time to open the gifts, I noticed something as my child opened each one. I noticed that he was given one gift and encouraged to rip it open and rip the paper, and he did that. And sometimes we had to help him, and then he briefly looked at the gift and then looked for the next one to come. There was little joy, no thought about the giver, what preparation was put into the gift or the giving of it. He wasn't showing gratefulness to the giver at all. He barely even acknowledged the gift before moving on to the next present. I mean, there was a whole pile there. He just wanted to see what was coming on. What's the next thing? This really bothered me. I hadn't thought about those goals we talked about a few minutes ago until that experience. As I started to think about the character I wanted to build in my children, I recognized something wasn't good here. I began to make a list of these goals in my own mind. What did I want to happen when my children receive a gift? This is when I made that list in my own mind, as you may be doing right now. Here's what I came up with. Joy in the experience, gratitude for the gift, appreciation for the item, I want the gift to be used, and I want them to acknowledge and thank the giver. Once I realized these were my goals, I decided things needed to be different. The next time my children received gifts, my goal was for them to experience these things so that the event could be what it should be, and my children would be building good character. Fortunately, our children were still only about 1 and 3 or so years old when we discovered all of this, so making a plan to fix this issue wasn't a big deal. We went on to have 9 children, so I'm glad we discovered this early. Now, before I tell you what we decided to do, I want you to know that I am not suggesting that you do exactly the same thing or the same way. And I will give you some suggestions about how you can decide how many gifts is right for you and your own family. But here it goes. My husband and I decided to do something radical. We decided that we would give them only one gift for their birthday and one gift at Christmas. Now wait a minute, don't fall off your chair. Stay with me. I want to tell you first that they didn't only receive one gift. We gave them one gift. And I want to tell you the logic behind this decision and the outcome of it. I closed my eyes and imagined a room full of gifts all for me. I began to feel overwhelmed when I really meditated on that thought. What would each one mean to me? Could I appreciate them adequately? Could I feel gratefulness for each one and each person who gave? Or would each one seem a little less important the more of them that there were? If opening a huge pile of gifts would be overwhelming for me, how could my children process all of it? Children will get excited about the idea of a huge pile, but they can't possibly take all of it in when that happens. They become overwhelmed and can actually become stressed and can't wait for it to be over. I thought about people in third world countries. or people who were on the prairie in the 1800s or even before that, and what joy they would experience at receiving any gift at all. Then I thought about rich children who have everything. Who is happier generally? Who experiences the joy of gift giving and receiving more? A rich child who has everything? Or a poor child who receives any gift at all? Who appreciates it more? I began to recognize the more gifts a child receives, the less joy they feel at each one, the less gratitude they feel, the less of an experience it is for them, the less it all means to them. I decided I wanted my children to have the very best. To me, the very best was one thoughtful, useful, and appropriate gift. That was the best. My children could have the most joy and the most gratitude if they got one gift. The next time a birthday came around, we gave them one gift. And I noticed a huge difference in the attitude toward the gift. I saw that my children focused on that one gift and enjoyed opening it. When they saw what the gift was, they appreciated it. They were so grateful for it, and they thanked us, and they used it. When they received lots of gifts, some of them were set aside and never used or barely used at all. But if they got one gift, it was always used. So when we gave one gift, all our goals for them were met. They had joy. They were grateful, appreciative. They acknowledged and thanked the giver, and they used the item. They received one gift from their grandparents as well, so they did receive more than one gift overall. But as they experienced it, I could see their joy was more than doubled. Now, as I said, I'm not saying you have to do the same thing. There are a couple of suggestions I have that can have the same kind of effect. One would be that you limit the gifts to 3. 3 is the number of gifts mentioned in the Bible that Jesus was given. Why not use that as a guideline? And in order to make each one more appreciated, you can give the gifts separately. Maybe give one on Christmas Eve, one on Christmas morning, one on Christmas evening, or even one on New Year's Day, since many of us use the whole week after Christmas as a holiday type season. If you just can't bring yourself to limit it this way, you could consider another Advent sort of gift-giving plan. If you want to give 5 gifts, for instance, start 5 days before Christmas and give one gift each day. The more you separate the receiving of the gifts, the more your child will be able to enjoy the experience of opening them individually and appreciating each one of them more. I have to let you know also that my children are all mostly grown now. I have 2 still in high school, but the other 7 are all on their own. All of my children say they do not want, need, or regret anything about receiving fewer gifts. And in fact, they hardly can think of things to ask for when I ask what they might want for a special event. Have you found some interesting things to consider about gift giving in this video? If so, please remember to subscribe. Also, check out the links in the description for more information on resources and parenting advice and ideas. Parents, you can do this. Thanks for watching.